Hey guys, what's up? It's Robyn and welcome to the Robyn's Nest. Today on my channel, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a Johnny Depp cake. Now, he's a man known for his many faces, a chameleon if you will, and quite arguably one of the most versatile actors of our time. And with those devilish good looks, that dark sense of humor, and his witty sarcasm, they have made him a force to be reckoned with. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but I am a fan. So I'm going to take some inspiration from some of my favorite pieces of his work, and we're going to try to put them together and make a fitting tribute cake and an epic birthday cake for a huge Johnny Depp fan. So let's get into it. So for today's cake, as you guys can see, I have 3 6-inch marble cake layers, and these guys are on the chunky side. They are actually twice as thick as I normally make them because today we're going to be making a cake style that I don't normally get to make, but I'm super excited to because I love the way they look when they're fully decorated, and that is a 6-inch double barrel cake. So today we're going to start by getting these trimmed down and leveled off. Then I'm going to readjust my cake leveler, and we're going to get these torted into 2 separate layers each, making 6 layers in total. Then once I finish that, I'll show you guys how to stack and fill. So once we're finished trimming and layering our cakes, it's time to grab a cake board. So as you guys can see, I'm using a 10-inch cake board here, and I've actually tripled this one up using some 2-sided tape and a couple of extra cake cards, making a nice thick cake drum for us to work with. And I'm also going to be using a turntable, which is going to make icing my cake much simpler, and it's going to help me get it nice and smooth. So we're going to lay our cake board down. We're just going to add a little bit of icing, and this is going to give us a nice base for our cake to stick to. Now we're going to lay our first layer, give this a little press down, and then we're going to stack and fill until we reach our 3rd layer. Now once I've reached that 3rd layer, we're then going to add some supports and a little cake card, just as we would if we were making a tiered cake. Then we can proceed to stack and fill the rest of our cake. Okay, so for our supports, I always heard that a good rule of thumb is 1 support every 2 inches. So a 6-inch cake would need 3 supports. But in my mind, I want to use an extra one just to keep that weight distribution even. So I'm going to be using 4 supports in my bottom tier here. So we're just going to be using some little wooden dowels, and we're going to stick them in and measure them off and then trim them. And then we can finish stacking our cake here. Alright, now once you've reached the stage and you've finished stacking and filling all of your layers, there's one more support that we need to add, and that's the one down through the center of our cake. And this is going to go through all of our cake layers, the cake board in the center, and we're also going to hammer it into the cake drum on the bottom, so that way all of these layers lock into place and everything stays nice and straight. So we're going to give it one last look to make sure everything is nice and tall and straight like we want it to be, and then we are going to insert our final support. Alright, now we're going to pop this in the fridge to chill, and we're going to firm up these icing layers a little bit before we try to add our crumb coat. So while we're waiting for that to firm up, which shouldn't take very long, we're going to start working on our first decoration, which is the topper for our cake. Now this is going to be standing, so it's going to need a little bit of time to dry, which is why we're doing it first. So we're going to get this started. So I'm going to use a little bit of black fondant here, which has a little bit of Tylo powder added to it. We're going to roll it out to a little bit thicker than 1/8 of an inch thick. Then I'm going to take my stencil here, and this is actually a version of Johnny Depp's tattoo on his arm, except instead of his son Jack's name on the tattoo, it's actually got the birthday girl's which I thought was kind of clever and a really cool idea. So we're going to turn this into the topper, and I'm going to get that marked off onto the black fondant, and then we're going to hand paint it on using a watercolor paintbrush, as you guys can see here. A little bit of gold luster dust right here, and then also a little bit of water to dilute it, just a tiny little bit. So I'm going to get this started, and I'll show you guys what it looks like before I set it to dry. And voila, there's our first decoration, guys. Didn't it turn out awesome? I think it looks super cool. So we're gonna set this off to dry now, and once it's fully firmed up, we're then gonna take some toothpicks and we're gonna attach those to the back to act as a support and also to give us something to attach it to the cake with. So we're gonna get this off to dry, and now we're gonna start working on our crumb coat. Okay, so we used a white vanilla American buttercream to fill our layers, but now we're going to switch over to some black. And this is going to be our main color for the outside of our cake, because our color scheme is going to be black and gold, obviously. So we're just going to start by adding a nice thin layer at first. We're going to get that all spread out, get all these crumbs sealed in, and then we can add a thicker, heavier outer layer and get that off into the fridge to chill for a bit. Okay, so for our final coat, this time we're going to be adding a nice generous layer of icing all over our entire cake. And I'm going to be using an offset spatula to apply that icing, and then we're going to smooth it out using my bench scraper. Now my bench scraper is a little bit on the short side, but I should be able to make do. However, a tall one that surpasses the height of the cake would definitely make things a lot easier, so just keep that in mind. There we go, that doesn't look too bad. I think I got it pretty smooth. Now I want to add some gold flecks, and I also want to add a little bit of gold detail around the top ring, but I can't touch it until it firms up a little bit. So we're going to pop our cake into the fridge to chill for a little bit, and in the meantime we're going to start working on some decorations. So as you guys know, the color scheme for our cake is black and gold. Now we already have our black cake ready to go, it's just chilling, but we need lots more gold decorations. Now we already have our topper, which we made, which was Jack's tattoo, and we replaced the name with the birthday girl's name, and it turned out really nice. So we're going to do more of the same. So I've drawn up a whole bunch of different stencils of Johnny in a series of his roles from a lot of my favorite movies, and I also have some filler pictures as well. And I also have just this simple picture of him being his handsome old self. So we're going to be taking these and laying them onto some rolled fondant. We're going to mark off our stencils, that way we know what we're going to be painting. And then I'm going to take some watered down gold dust and we're going to paint these pictures on there with a watercolor paintbrush, just like I did with the topper. Alright guys, there is our first decoration finished, and this is going to be the main one for the front of our cake. Now I already did go ahead and make the rest of these ahead of time, so I'll just give you guys a little peek of what they look like as well. And we have a little bit of Edward Scissorhands here, some Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, some Sweeney Todd, some Captain Jack Sparrow. This one here is Ichabod Crane from Sleepy Hollow. Then we have some Cogs and Gears from Edward Scissorhands, a little jack-o'-lantern on fire from Sleepy Hollow, and this one here is actually one of his tattoos, a Harley skeleton key, which he really, really likes. And last but not least, Jolly Roger. So now that these are all finished, all we have left to do is add some gold splatters to our cake and a little gold ring around the top, and then we can start adding all of our decorations and I can show you guys what it looks like. Well, here it is guys, and I could not be more pleased. It totally blew all my expectations out of the water. I was a little unsure of how it was going to turn out, but I absolutely love it, and I love all these silhouettes. I think they look so great. I mean, look at Sweeney Todd. It really captured that crazy stare. I love it. And look at little Edward Scissorhands too. He's my favorite. I just love him. And I really hope you guys all like it too. And I hope you enjoyed the cake and the video. And if you did, you guys know what to do. Leave me a big thumbs up and lots of love in the comment section too. And if you haven't done so already and you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you receive a notification every time I post a new video. Thanks for watching guys.